Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM. AM 630. WMAL.
Did you hear the jingle singers? Yes, we are on 105.9 FM and AM 630. That's true. You can get us on the AM dial. You can get us on the FM dial. Crystal clear FM sound. Now, the Morning Majority comes to you in stereo. Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman, Mary Catherine Ham. Want to talk a little Redskins, Monday Night Football tonight?
I was just thinking now, because Mary Catherine said the Bills are 3-0, the Lions are 3-0, the Redskins are in first place in the NFC East, and we're on FM. The world may be coming to an end soon.
That's what I mean. Can it get any better? Hey, Trevor Matich is on the line to give us the lowdown on tonight's game. You know, Trevor, I'm looking here. What is this? Let me look at some facts here. The Cowboys 1-1. The Redskins 2-0. And there were those in this room and someone on the phone who thought that I was expressing complete folly when I said they might win 10 games this year.
Slow down there, Speedy Gonzalez. It's 2 games in.
What do you think, Trevor?
Well, expressing complete folly, Brian, we just expect that from you. So,
Hey, I'm right here.
Actually, you know what? Great faith on your part, and so far it's proven out. And you know what? The craziest thing that may indicate that the world is coming to an end is that over the first 2 games, it is the Redskins who have the better quarterback situation and whose starting quarterback has been more consistent over the first 2 games.
How about that?
That is crazy.
Yeah. So Romo, he was hurt in the last game and still came back to win. I mean, that says a lot about what Tony Romo's made of. But, I mean, he's got to be hurting a little bit coming back from a fractured rib and punctured lung.
Yeah, and from a practical standpoint, Brian, he hasn't practiced with any degree of urgency. He can't. They had to rest him, basically. So that'll hurt his preparation. But to me, it's even more than that, because Romo's under fire for not performing under pressure. His reputation among his own teammates is of a guy who does really well when it doesn't matter that much. And when it does matter in crunch time, he has epic failures. Well, you know, he punctured that lung, cracked that rib early in the game last week, came back late in the game to lead them to victory in overtime. And he's gotten a ton of praise for that, as if that were something that nobody else would ever do. Well, he should get praise. It was difficult, but here's what I think might be going on in his head, that he wants to prove again that he's tough. But even when you're tough, there's a time when you have to pull out and stop and leave the game because you're physically ineffective. And I think Romo will stay in that game longer than he should if he gets banged around a bit because he wants to prove that he's tough. I think the Redskins have a great opportunity here to really outplay them at the quarterback position again because of that.
Romo's kind of like the Washington Capitals. I mean, yeah, okay, he can get it done in the regular season, but until you actually get it done in the playoffs, then come talk to me.
Right, and that's why I think he feels like he has a lot to prove to his own teammates, and so he might try to extend it and overdo it. You know, as long as you're better than your backup, play. But if you get to a point where you're limited to where your backup is better and you stay in, you're hurting your team. And so we'll see what happens. The thing about the Redskins is that they will come with a better pass rush this game, than they have against the Dallas Cowboys in the last decade. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
What do you think of the comments from D'Angelo Hall, or some people like to call him Meangelo Hall, about how he's going to go after Tony Romo and those ribs? That look out, I know exactly where you're hurt, and that's where I'm aiming for.
I love it. I love it. That, number one, that reflects reality. That's the NFL. We're not out there to win a game for the city because it's fun to play ball. No, this is millions of dollars. It's your livelihood. It's how you make a living for your family. And when you win, guess what? You tend to stay longer and tend to make more money. So we start there. But the other thing is that I don't think Hall will be dirty. I don't think the Redskins will be dirty. I don't think they'll do things at the bottom of a pile. But I do think that it gets into Romo's head. It gets into the Cowboys' head in general. And if Romo gets hit a few times and he thinks they're coming after him, will that affect him? Will he throw the ball earlier just because he doesn't want to get hit, because he's in pain? Getting into his head is the key there, and I think Hall was masterful at setting that up.
Speaking of getting hit, Trevor, what was Michael Vick complaining about this weekend? Did he have a complaint, or it just sounded like, I got hit a lot?
Well, Michael Vick does get hit a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he has an O-line for that, right?
Did you got the impression he was complaining? I got the impression he was kind of just shooting a shot across the bow, that he's got to be protected better from a play calling standpoint and an offensive line standpoint.
Yeah, but he blamed the refs, saying the refs aren't throwing the flags, that, Tom Brady or Peyton Manning essentially get those calls, but Michael Vick doesn't get those calls.
I know, but the thing is, the way he plays, that's the way it is, and so he might not. You watch the NBA, Michael Jordan got those calls. The guys you haven't heard of didn't get those calls. And the fact of it is, Vick is one of those Tom Brady guys. Because people pay money to watch the stars play. They didn't pay money to watch me play for the Redskins. I'd like to think so. They didn't. They paid to watch the stars play. And so those guys, I think it makes sense to give extra protection. But Vic is one of those stars. So, I think he's crazy.
But wait a minute, I that's one of the reasons I watch football. I really am rooting for the long snapper.
Yeah, well, especially when the long snapper was as fast, But see, Vic is that guy, and so it's like Bill Gates complaining that he's not getting paid enough.
Right.
No, Bill, you're getting paid plenty. And it's that's the same way with Vic. He's one of the rich from a standpoint of he's the star that the NFL wants to protect.
All right, is this a validation game for the Redskins? 2-0, a lot of people paying attention to them now. They're in first place in the NFC East. The Eagles obviously have some problems. The Giants are the Giants, and the Cowboys are a little hurt right now. Is this a validation game for the Redskins?
Well, yeah, I think it's an opportunity game, and validation, that'll come, but really they got a chance to steal one against the Giants in the opener when the Giants' two best pass rushers were out and four different defensive backs were out to injury. And so that's an opportunity. Same opportunity here. The Cowboys have a quarterback who's banged up. They're missing two of their top receivers. They're missing two starting offensive linemen, and their starting running back will be limited as well. So this gives the Redskins an opportunity to steal one and get another win over a division opponent when that division opponent is not at full strength, but the Redskins nearly are.
All right, so your prediction for tonight?
I think the Redskins are going to pull it off. I really do. I think the defense is going to bang Romo around. I think the offense will be fairly effective, although they'll struggle against the Cowboys' pass rush. But I think they'll pull out a squeaker.
And so that will make it 3-0, and I'll only need 7 more games before my prediction comes true.
If Rex Grossman gets a call, Michael Vick will phone the NFL and say, now, wait a minute, he got a call.
All right, Trevor Matich, always good to have you here on the Morning Majority. How do you like being on the